Hello everyone, welcome to Custom Lotus, where the cards are made up and the colors don't matter. I'm your host, Mikio. Joining me today is Noki.
Today we're going to be scrolling through r/custom magic, rating, just talking about the top however many cards we want to talk about from the past week. This is going to be a fairly consistent thing. We don't know how consistent, but it'll be relatively so. But at some point we might do set reviews and deck techs even.
Ooh,
But
that's a nice idea.
yeah, so let's just jump right in to our first card today. Our first card is Colitis. Is 4 and double black for a sorcery at rare. It says choose up to 2. Destroy all colorless creatures, or destroy all monocolored creatures, or destroy all multicolored creatures. With the flavor text of the last magnate's last dispute was a supremely pointless affair. Nobody was right, and by the end, nobody was left either.
Yeah. Also, you kind of didn't really say the first part right, though. It's choose one or two. You said something else. But
It's the same thing.
right. But yeah, first I want to say I really like the name, Kaleido Scour. I don't know. It's
It
freaking
is,
sweet in my opinion.
yeah, it adds a lot of flavor to the card itself because it's like Kaleido and colors and just like removing it all.
Yeah. I like this card for two things. First, it's a modular RAF, which is always cool. And it's a modular RAF in black, which isn't a thing very often compared to white or Orzhov when it
Yeah,
comes to RAFs.
I'm pretty uh, I'm pretty sure that the only other modular rafts that I know of have been Merciless Eviction and Austere Command. So,
There's that new one they released in M19, I think.
oh yeah, the Cleansing Nova or whatever.
Yep. And I don't think that is, but maybe Play of the Game was modular as well. I can't recall.
No, it was not.
Oh, okay. So yeah, at 6 mana, it certainly won't exactly be a Wrath in Modern, especially because other than Devotion, there's not really many mono black decks running around, I don't think.
Yeah, unless someone somehow builds a very hard control deck in mono black, it's not going to see any play in modern.
Yeah, it does have the advantage of you can basically make it one-sided though. If you're playing something like Tron, or you're
You
playing
can make
like a
you can make it a one-sided board wipe if you wanted to.
yeah, well, generally you'd like it to be one-sided board wipes, which is Black's specialty after all, so it makes sense for it to have such a modular design.
Yeah. So there really isn't too much to say about it. I mean, the design is interesting for a Wrath. It feels black enough. I would still kind of argue it's more white, but that's because Wraths are primarily white. That's just me though.
Yeah. Although here's a hot take for you. Do you think this card could cost 5 instead of 6?
Hmm. Maybe that would be very pushed in my opinion, but it all depends on how the format built around it is built. It depends.
I suppose so, but yeah. I could maybe see it at 5. The problem is it's pre at 5 it would basically be strictly better than the other board wipes that Black has that are one-sided, like the other two
Damnation
ones that cost 9 mana each, which I forgot the name for some reason.
in Garrick's Wake.
Yeah, right, in Garrick's Wake.
And the other one.
Yep, the other one that is strictly worse than in Garrick's Wake. But it is a damn good card. I'd play it anyway.
All
Anyway,
right.
so the next card is that's a silver bordered. Oh yeah, we don't do silver bordered cards. The next card is Two with Nothing. It is a mythic sorcery for black, 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 and it says target opponent chooses a number. You may pay that much life. If you do, that player discards their hand. Otherwise, that player loses that much life and you discard your hand. Now, this
Very
is
much.
butt racing. Feels like you're thinking hard about this card, Noki.
I hate this. I hate this so much.
What do you mean you hate this? This is amazing.
I don't like it.
Why?
I don't. Oh, it just. I don't. I don't like Punisher effects, even as a casual player, and this is just like the most risk rewardy Punisher effect ever. Like I
I
just
kind of
don't
like.
like it. I
I kind of
hate
like
it
it.
so much.
It's like a black version of Goblin Game. It's awesome. It's politic. It's a sweet reference to One with Nothing.
I mean, I do like the reference to One with Nothing. I love callbacks. I just hate this as a card.
I
It's
don't.
just not something I enjoy.
I kind of like it. Then again, I'm the kind of guy that says land destruction is a viable strategy and should be in some sets. And I think this card is fine. I mean, it is a 3 mana somebody's gonna discard their entire hand. So you play this on turn 3, and somebody's gonna be stuck in top deck mode for a while. So I can get what you mean. I mean, honestly, this is
Yeah.
priced so pushed that I think it could see play in modern. Thing is, though, somebody's gonna end up with a very low amount of cards, and the other person's gonna end up with a very low amount of life. Which I think is fair enough, in my opinion.
Yeah, I just don't like it's not something that I can ever see myself playing. It just feels like such a power play for no good reason.
Well, if there's one color for power plays, it's pretty damn
It's
black, I
black.
would say.
That's true. I don't know how to describe it. I just hate its design. There's nothing more to say. For
Yeah,
me at
well,
least.
other than you're wrong and I'm right, but yeah, it's about all that there is to say. It's a pretty sweet card. Could see play in modern, maybe. I don't know. Could this push a mono black devotion deck to some higher tiers in modern? I think it could with Gary and stuff. Already putting you at a life
As
advantage.
as we said with the last week's red black power play card, it could see play in Legacy Reanimator, and that's about it in my opinion.
Yeah. But I think it would push a deck to a higher tier. What that deck is, I can't say for certain. I put my hand on Mono Black Devotion because it's a sweet ass deck, but maybe it would be Legacy Red Black. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see this pushing devotion to be a thing because it doesn't impact your devotion at all.
It
But it
doesn't,
is a
but the
very
thing,
viable mono black card.
yeah, it doesn't. But the thing is, like, with a cost of black, 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 you can't really play this outside of Mono Black. So that's why I say this.
Yeah.
Then again, with fucking fetches, how the fuck do I know? I never played with fetches. I'm not rich.
Yeah. So
So
we
next
both have
card.
different opinions on that. So our next card is Cunning Courtier. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. It's two
I'm
and a
pretty sure
black
you need to
for
say it
a
like a fancy asshole, like courtier.
courtier. It's two and a black for a creature human assassin at uncommon. It's a 1/1, and when Courtier enters the battlefield, target player becomes the monarch. Whenever the monarch draws a card, they get a poison counter with the flavor text of Marchesa sends her regards.
Oh, oh, this is nice.
It's a very good card. I don't like that it involves poison counters.
You see, here's another part where we don't agree. I quite like poison counters. Now, nobody likes poison counters when they're being sent in your face, but if you're the one with the poison, it's pretty damn fucking nice. And I could see this card being played with a whole bunch of forcing players to draw cards. You know, the general group hug strategy. Play this, and it's basically kill target player if you make him draw 10.
Cough, cough, Nekusar. Cough.
Yeah, you put the, Nekusar is black. Yeah, no, he is. You put this in Nekusar, somebody's gonna get salty, and it's not gonna be the Nekusar player.
Unless they get stuck with the monarchy.
Yeah. Alternatively, this could be a ballsy ass card if you choose yourself as the player. Because here's the thing: when this card is in play, the monarch basically has fucking leprosy, and nobody's gonna wanna get it. So you're gonna be drawing cards, and all you need to do is like Doomblade it. Well, not Doomblade, but murder your own card when you're at like 9 poison counters, and boom, you just got yourself a shit ton of card advantage for 3 mana.
And you also protected yourself for a given number of turns.
Well, not 8 because it's whenever you draw a card. So divide for
That,
about
that
4
that's
turns.
why I said a given number.
Yeah. So this card, you look at it, you're saying, "Oh man, I'm gonna choose somebody else. They're gonna die." The real black player, you know, the Galaxy Brain mono black player is like, "I'm gonna play this on myself, and I'm gonna get very much close to death, and I will very much draw cards for very much any cost."
Because if there's anybody who gets the power plays, it's the black player.
Oh yeah. If you want the real power plays, you want this card on the field choosing you want Phyrexian Arena, and you want Dark Confidant. This is how you play Magic the Gathering, kids.
It's even more degenerate than something I do, and that says a lot.
Oh yeah, and then you end the turn by playing fucking Necropotence, sacrificing everything else with something else, like an Oratog or whatever, and then just playing Yogg-Sothoth Will and just starting over again. So at that
Just
point, I'm
remember,
not
guys,
even.
Necropotence doesn't draw you cards.
Nope.
It just puts them into your hand from the top of your library.
That's why you become potent with the power of the skull.
Ooh.
So yeah, I like Cunning Courtier. I'd like to see it in a set someday. Though I really doubt they're gonna bring back poison ever. I think it's like a 6 on the storm scale.
I mean, 6 still has a chance of coming back. But yeah, I can see what you mean. I could honestly see poison being a sub theme in Conspiracy 4 or 3 or whichever one we're on. But
Yeah. Actually, poison is a 5. Huh. That's not bad. We need to find the right place to bring it back, but I'm optimistic.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. So yeah, poison. Maybe next set. Who knows? And hopefully, cunning courtier is gonna be there.
Yeah, let's just hope that it's not in Ravnica, guys.
Hmm. Anyway, so the next card is Undead Captain. It is a rare zombie soldier for one colorless, one white, one black, and one red. It has Mentor, which is the new ability from the newest Return to Ravnica set, which says whenever this creature attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on target attacking creature with lesser power. It is a 3/2, and it says other creatures you control have persist, which is when a creature with persist dies. If it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to the battlefield under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. Whew.
Oh. It's the obligatory +1/+1 counter mechanic spawning a combo with persist.
Yes, except this does it on its own, like the big boy it is, because it's Mardu.
Woo-wee.
I mean, it's a pretty nice way of doing an undead flavor, because he basically makes your creatures really hard to kill. And the fact that the -1/-1 counters make your creatures smaller kind of combine well with Mentor, because you want weaker creatures than itself.
Plus, Mentor gets rid of the -1/-1 counter.
Yep, that's how they interact together. Now, this has several problems as to why it would never be printed in real life. First off, it's pretty damn sticky. Second off, it's using two mechanics from two completely different sets, one of which I think has been said to never be reprinted ever. And three, it would mean that there's a set with +1/+1 counters and -1/-1 counters, which never ever happens because of confusion.
I'm pretty sure that persist was a 6 or 7 on the storm scale, which is very high, but it's not one of those dredge or storms of magic.
Yeah, well, persist is definitely lower on the list than undying, but yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like this guy would almost be better as a legendary creature, because then you
Yeah.
could say it's like for commander specific, which would make more sense.
A legendary creature with a higher toughness. Because in this guy's current state, he's a 4-mana combo piece that dies to shock.
Yeah, well, have you seen all the mentor cards that have been spoiled so far? They are pitiful, absolutely
It's
horrible.
a 5/2, a 4/2, a 2/3 with vigilance, and a 2/2. They're
I,
all in shock range, except for one, which is in bolt range.
I'm gonna say I'm not impressed. So yeah, if this guy was legendary, I don't know, maybe up the mana by one, make it a bit tougher, and then you'd get a pretty sweet guy. Also making him skeleton, because that would be fucking sweet.
Hmm.
Because I've actually explored the design world of making skeletons and zombies different, and I've noticed that the big difference they have is zombies tend to leave the graveyard easy, while skeletons tend to leave the battlefield hard. Meaning it's really hard to get rid of a skeleton. Well, it's really easy to get rid of a zombie, but it tends to come back.
Hmm.
So this guy would fit quite well as a zombie. I mean, a skeleton.
Yeah.
But this is not our cards. But yeah, it's a neat idea. I kind of like it. But in its
Hmm.
current state, it's basically not printable.
Yeah. All right. So our next card is Catnip and Yarn. It is a green-white hybrid mana for a sorcery at common. If you control a basic plains, create a 1/1 cat white cat creature token. If you control a basic forest, create a 1/1 green cat creature token.
Allow me to say this about this card. It's another Selenia card that only cares about making tokens because a color combination obviously only does a same fucking thing. I'm not a big fan of Selesnya only having token related bullshit. Anyway, that's the short version of the rant done. Other than that, this card is nice.
I mean, it's just fine.
I
It's
would
fine.
I would say it's about as efficient as Lingering Souls, just in a different kind of way.
Yeah, it's kind of strange because if you put it into formats like modern or any eternal format, then people might get kind of confused because it only checks for basic forests. So they're gonna crack their fetch up a temple guard and get it untapped, expecting catnip and yarn to give them 2 tokens off the bat, not remembering that temple garden isn't non-basic. I mean, isn't basic.
Yeah, that's the thing. In limited, this card would be pretty sweet, I guess. In standard, I think it might see play because standard's good amount of basics. Outside of that, though, every other format doesn't really use basics much, so this card is basically useless in those.
Yeah, and people are gonna throw it in because they don't read the card.
Yeah,
So
reading
they
the card
it's much
explains the
better than
rules,
a
but
lose.
also I'm not sure I get the flavor behind the name.
The yarn is the plains, and the catnip is the forest, and it's both attracting
I
cats.
suppose it just. I feel like it's got enough space for a bit of cute flavor text at least. But yeah, it's not the worst card ever, but it kinda screams draft chaff and or tech for a cat tribal deck that really needs the most it can get, really.
I mean, it could have seen play in standard, but now rotation's happening.
Yeah. Um it might be good in like Selesnya tokens deck, where you don't really care what the tokens are as long as you can get as many tokens as you possibly can.
And then you die to austere command. The end.
Yup, thus is the fate for any token deck that doesn't run something. Actually, I don't know if there's really anything to prevent bounce board wipes in token decks.
Nope.
I think Celestia had a card that gave X proof to all your creatures, but that doesn't really do much against a bounce based board wipe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not amazing. Then again, it is a common, but yeah, still not amazing.
Yeah.
So next card.
It has the potential to be great, just not always. Anyway, next card.
Yeah. Okay. So next card is Elder Dragon Highlander. It is a legendary enchantment, mythic rare, for 2 colorless, a black, a red, and a green, so Jun colors. When Elder Dragon Highlander enters the battlefield, each player creates a 7/7 black, red, and green Elder Dragon creature token with flying. Whenever an Elder Dragon deals combat damage to a player, put a victory counter on it. At the beginning of each end step, if a player controls an Elder Dragon with 3 victory counters on it, that player wins the game.
So we found an alternate win condition last time too, and I like this one better because you could build Elder Dragon Tribal.
Yeah, though doing that would be quite hard. You can't really do the usual thing where you use like conspiracy or something to make a whole bunch of meaningless creature elder dragons, because that's 2 different creature types. So
You
you
couldn't
need
make everything an Elder and build Dragon Tribal.
yeah. So you need to run actual elder dragons, which are all 3 different color wedges. So in Jund, I think you
You
play,
could always build Ur-Dragon.
I suppose. In Ur-Dragon, this could be pretty good, I suppose, but yeah. Now, of course, for those who don't know, Elder Dragon Highlander is the official first name of Commander. And the idea was, at the beginning, you could only play one of the Elder Dragons as your commander, which were all 7/7. And the
Yep.
idea was, if you did 3 strikes to your opponents, so 21 damage, they with your commander, then they lost the game. So this kind of does it again, except with a different idea behind it, and it's pretty nice. I think this would actually see some janky play in standard and such, not just commander.
Yeah, just then immediately destroy their Elder Dragon, and then just build a
Yeah,
Jund control shell, and then throw this in there as a win condition.
yeah. It's basically you play this, you jund them, and you win. Pretty standard
Exactly.
jund tactics.
Who knew that Jund would build a big boy and then swing with him to win? Hmm.
Yeah. Who know? Who knew that Jund had cards that makes big boys and then kills the other big boy so that their big boy can kill him faster? I think of all the 3-color combinations, Jund is the most centered in how it works, I would say.
Yes. So Esper is usually very, very hard control.
Yeah. They kind of don't really have a choice with the colors they're using, really.
Yeah. Although the same can be said for Jund.
That's fair. Anyway, so next card.
So our next card is Mirror Agent. It's 1 and a blue for a creature, human, rogue, wizard. At rare, it is a 1/1 that says whenever Mirror Agent deals combat damage to a creature, create a token that's a copy of that creature. With flavor text of, it's funny, no one ever considers whether they're the copy meeting the original. Huh.
So this is an interesting card, I'm gonna say. As blue cards tend to be on custom Magic.
Yes. It's odd.
This is a
Very,
pretty
very.
this is a pretty good chump blocker, all things considered. And if you can do shenanigans to boost its toughness or to make it more indestructible, it could basically become the attacker or the blocker, depending on what kind of path you want to take in life.
Yeah, just like throw out an Avacyn, and Mirror Agent becomes create copies of absolutely everything on the board.
Yeah, you could do a lot of fun with that. I could see some decks being built around it. The nice thing, though, is that because it costs 2, you can actually build around it fairly well. It's not like some 8 mana uppercut of a card that can only really work in one instance.
Yeah. Also, Mikio could probably also understand this, but I find the art very, very distracting because it is the profile picture of someone on the Discord server where we met.
I don't recognize it because I generally can't see the images well because of the resolution of my screen.
Yeah, it is Death by Mangas or Death by whatever he wants to be dead by profile picture.
Right.
I don't know. That was just an observation. Anyway, back to actually relevant things.
Yeah. Well, it's a rogue and a wizard, which is nice for wizard and rogue decks.
It's every blue creature type except for merfolk.
That's true. Though once you get to 4 creature types, I think you might have put too much.
Merfolk, rogue, wizard, shaman, warrior.
And you give it changeling anyway.
At that point, why even care, right?
Exactly. But yeah, no, this card is pretty sweet. I'm sure there's a lot of spikes we're gonna look at. No, Johnnies. Wait, Johnnies are the combo players. Yeah, Johnnies are gonna look at this and they're gonna take like about 2 hours making 30 different decks to see which one would use Mirror Agent the coolest.
Yes.
And I do wish them well. Ah,
Like, let's
all
just
right.
give the opponent a crater hoof behemoth or something.
All right, we're getting into the maximum spy zone, I think. So let's go for the next card, which is a HemoGoblin. Not to be confused with an HemoGoblin, which would not be red. So this is a Goblin Assassin Berserker. It's a rare, it costs 1 single red, and it's a 1/1. And it says HemoGoblin attacks each combat, if able. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on HemoGoblin. And it's got some flavor text of, I'm dying to see some red. Well, you can do the dying part for me.
So here's something that I noticed almost immediately. It's another monocolored card that has 3 creature types at rare, and it's a 1/1.
I think you might be thinking too deep about this.
It's a conspiracy, Mickey. Don't deny me
Ah,
this.
for fuck's sake, it's not a conspiracy, it's a goblin.
Yeah, and also being the nerd that I am, I immediately I immediately thought of the name as hemoglobin, which is stuff in the blood cells that carries the oxygen. I hope.
Yeah, I assume that's what the joke is. So, but mechanics
But if it's
wise,
why isn't it?
yeah, mechanics wise, do you think this is good?
I love it. I absolutely love it. It's great.
Yeah, well, the nice thing is, the moment it has 2 toughness, you can start basically growing it each turn by using I was gonna say the name of the card, but I dropped it right as I was gonna say it. What's it card? For fuck's sake. Pyrohemia, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Although,
true.
it of course everything goes well with Pyrohemia because it's that sweet. And HemoGoblin goes pretty well together. Now, the fact that it needs to attack each combat is able as 1 toughness means I highly doubt it's gonna see 2 power very often. Honestly, I think like the best thing to do would be playing it on turn 2 with like messenger speed, give it haste, and hit right now when the other player doesn't have any other creatures.
Yeah, I've been kind of thinking this like immediately just straight to modern burn. Like turn 1 Simian Spirit Guide to Mountain to HemoGoblin, and then at the end of their turn, you just bolt them to the face, and now it's immediately a 2/2.
Yeah, might be playable in modern now that you say it like that, but it seems like a lot of work just to get a 2/2 at the end of turn 1.
Right, but then it's a 4/4 at the end of turn 2, and a 6/6 at the end of turn 3.
I suppose so. It pairs well with Burn. It's the cheese to Burn's wine, I would say.
Yes.
Is it as good as Goblin Guide? I wouldn't say that much though. But
Not turn one. Later on in the game, I'd say that Goblin Guide is worse than this.
I guess, but it needs to survive to the late game.
Well, that's why it doesn't have haste.
Yeah. If this thing had haste, I think it would actually be busted though.
If it had haste, it would be infinitely worse. Because then you'd have to swing with it, and they'd block with anything and kill it.
Yeah, but if you're playing this turn 1 though, it becomes really fucking good.
That's true.
Actually, you know what? Giving it haste is kind of downside and an upside.
Yeah, it's both at the same time. I live it as they didn't give it haste because they knew it would make it playable.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah, I really like this.
Although,
I'm a player.
yeah. Also, I just realized something though that means it would definitively be played in modern. Shocks and fetches.
Oh, you don't even need to sim spirit guide.
No, you just wait for them to do the job themselves.
You just need to wait for them to use their mana.
That's all you need to do. This means you either massively slow them down, or you get a massively big goblin.
Ooh.
Could this be the counter to Death's Shadow people have been clamoring for? I don't think so, but it's pretty nice.
Hasn't the show already had a billion counters to the point where it's not even the mainstay of the format?
I really don't know. I haven't really followed Modern this summer.
Main thing in modern right now is 5-color humans.
Oh yeah, that's been a real problem apparently.
Yeah. Death Shadow still sees some play, but it's not near as much.
Huh. Well, I'm gonna trust you more than I'm gonna trust myself because I haven't been following the format. I know 5-color human is basically cancer at the moment, but yeah.
Also, KCI has gotten a resurgence lately.
Oh yeah, that too. You need like a 2-part video to understand how KCI works.
Yeah.
So I give it that at least. So yeah, this is the little goblin that could. Next card.
Break the entire format.
Mm.
Anyway, next card.
The next card is Hidden Temple.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm supposed to be reading it. So Hidden Temple is a land at uncommon. While you're searching the land, you may hidden Hidden Temple is a battlefield tap it to add white or blue.
Well, this is a pretty sweet land.
I like this. I just think that it might end up ruining the whole into searching particularly for sick lands.
Well, the thing is, I don't know if the wording it used makes it less of a rules fucking nightmare than that Panglacial worm.
I don't even know what that is.
Oh,
Would you like to explain?
I'm gonna introduce you to every level 2 Juzz worst nightmare.
Oh dear.
Panglacial Worm is a 7 mana 9/5 with trample, and it says while you're searching your library, you may cast Panglacial Worm from your library.
What?
You can cast it from your library while you're searching your library.
No. No. Why would they ever print that?
Because it's Cold Snap, bitch!
Oh, that everything.
If you look through all the notes and rules relevant for it, you will notice it's actually a mini novel.
Cool, I've been looking for something to read recently.
Yeah, read the rules for playing Glacial Worms, then play it in your Judge's Tower if you're the kind of people to play that. Anyway, to go back to Hidden Temple, after relooking at the rules for Panglacial Worms, I realized this is a much nicer way of wording that kind of ability.
Yeah.
Now, do I think this card in a cycle of colors, I would assume, would be good? I don't really think so, but I think this would be absolutely amazing for any casual or budget players of Magic. Because it's a really budget way of basically having fetches. Like, all you need is a couple of these lands to replace, shocks or whatever. And then you put 4 of Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanses in your deck. Is it good? Not really. Is it budget? Fuck yeah, it is. Are you still stunned, Nogi?
Yeah, I'm like my internet cut out really quick. So these would be really good for an ender. I've been like these up with cultivate in
Yeah,
dual land.
yeah. As I said, they're also pretty good for any sort of player wanting to start playing Magic, but are kind of a budget. Like, most player that want to get into Modern, what's the worst thing that they don't want to buy? It's fetches and shocks. You can basically use this to replace shocks and replace your fetches with Terramorphic Expansive and Evolving Wilds. Now, is it a good replacement? Not really, but it is budget.
Yeah, it's I could still see it seeing play, at the very, very least, as in more casual and budget-oriented play groups.
Yeah. Also, it's a non-basic land that's not a fucking rare for once, which is nice.
Woo!
Personally, lands should never be anything rarer than uncommon.
I think that it should depend on what they do, but yeah, I can see where that comes from.
I really don't think they should. But then again, I'm a fucking anarchist when it comes to this shit, so just don't ask me about open fire. And people won't die.
All right. Next card.
Let's go for the next card, which is Hydar, or Hydhar, Lion of the Dunes. Sweet name. It is a legendary human warrior. It's a mythic rare. It's 2 colorless, a black and a red, and it is a 4/4 with menace, mentor, and whenever a creature you control mentors another creature, draw a card and lose 1 life. At the beginning of the end step, you may pay 2 colorless and a white. If you do, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token for each opponent you have. Well, this is clearly a commander card.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a commander card, and I like the way it manages to find a reason to not be Boros.
Yeah, that is really nice. Based on the last Mardu mentor card we had, this could be the commander for a Mardu mentor tribal deck.
Would it be good? I don't know. It's another hey, Boros is attacking a lot kind of deck. But
Mhm.
the fact that it's a commander with card advantage baked in already makes it better than a lot. And Mentor is the kind of ability that stacks. And we haven't seen the rest of Mentor cards, but if it gets enough support, hint, it won't, this could really do a nice job of it.
Mhm.
You know, it's an alright idea to have. And it can draw a lot of cards. Now I gotta say the ability to make warriors is a bit stifled. I feel 3 mana. And again, you get 3 warriors most often than not. And you
Mhm.
can only do it once. Mhm. Although it does say at
Yeah,
the
I
beginning
think
of
at the
yeah.
beginning of the end step, not
So yeah, you can
each
do it.
or your opponent's.
Yeah, no, you can do it
I,
each end step. So there's that.
I'm not sure
So you
what they're
can.
trying to go there.
I think he was just trying to also bake in things that can get mentored easily and repeatably. But I
Mhm.
certainly haven't seen an ability like that in a while.
Yeah,
Like older cards always had like these kind of abilities. You can only do it at certain steps of a turn. But nowadays, I feel like that's not a thing anymore, is it?
it still is a little bit, but not too often. No.
I think this guy is worth it to change a bit of how things work for a while. He's pretty cool. And also, I do quite like that he also has some included evasion with the form of menace.
Mhm.
It's definitively the weakest kind of evasion keyword, but it's certainly better than most of the cards that we have been spoiled with Mentor, which has no toughness and no evasion. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So good job, Heidhar.
you did a thing. And our next card is Conjuring Mage. It is a blue mana for a creature, human wizard at rare. It is a 1/1 with with a morph. So you can cast this card face down as a 2/2 creature for 3. Turn it face up at any time for its morph cost. Its morph cost is to draw a card, and you can pay 3 and a blue to turn it face down.
It also has some flavor text of, "Is this the card you desire?"
Mhm.
I gotta say, I do desire this mage. This guy would basically be an auto-include in any deck that focuses on morph. And if you can manage to lower cost of morph to 0, you basically have a good draw card for 0, which is nice. And you play Training Grounds, you get a lot of cards for really cheap, so that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. if you play this with training grounds, it's basically 1 mana for a 1/1 with pay 2 draw a card.
which is pretty good. And the nice thing is, if you don't have mana to activate it twice or you want to do other things, you can leave it as a much less fragile 2/2, wait at the end of the next
Hmm.
opponent's turn or whatever, and just flip it then, since you can always morph at instant speed.
Yeah.
Also, getting this guy off a manifest is pretty nice as well.
Yeah, like getting them out when you're in top deck mode, it just forces you out of there a bit. And it also gives you a nice mana sink later in the game.
Yeah, it's
Of
a
course, would really only play in, of course, Commander, but also Limited.
oh, in limited, this guy's a fucking badass. Maybe some standard
Yeah.
decks would maybe some standard decks would play if it was a standard with a good amount of morph support.
Hmm. I feel like current standard there's a bit too much burn, but I can see where you're coming from.
Oh yeah, right now it would see so little play because of Goblin Chain Whirler, but in a different standard, I think it could see a really good amount of play.
Yeah.
So many decks are shut down by that Chain Whirler. Holy shit.
Yeah, like the Chain Whirler created this current standard. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Of course, it's a current standard I haven't really been playing because I focus more on Commander, but yeah. It's definitely Goblin Chain Whirler and friends.
Yep.
Yeah, that was Conjuring Mage. Pretty good guy. Next, we have Dr. Hadakan of Nephalia. It is a legendary rare human wizard for 1 blight, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black. It is a 2/3, and it has tap, sacrifice a creature, then return it to the battlefield tapped under your control. With the flavor text of, now, this won't take long. Just stay away from the light and you'll be back to us with a heartbeat.
So I like this card. I feel like it should be our last one because Mikio's been roboting really, really bad as time has progressed.
Really?
Uh, yeah,
Fuck.
I'm sorry. But yeah, I do like this card's design a lot. It feels very, very Esper, and I love the Innistrad Doctor flavor. I've always loved
Yeah,
Innistrad. It's been one of my favorites.
yeah, I really love it because I really, really like decks that do so many like death and sacrifice synergies. And this guy does it all. This guy, you tap him, you're gonna get sacrifice synergies, death effects, ETB effects. It's like the blink. It's the blink to end all blinks.
Yeah, like I'm just imagining this in a. I could honestly see this. I mean, probably not in modern, like, but there was this old deck that I built around a really janky, awful card that was the win condition, and I could see this being an alternate win con when combined with Geralf's Messenger. So the whole idea of the deck was to dump X1s into your graveyard and then get them all back with a card called Pyrrhic Revival, which all creatures from graveyards back and puts -1/-1 counters on them so that you would trigger all of your Death Artists and Zulaport Cutthroats.
Yeah. This guy, he's for everyone. He's for nerds like me that want nothing but value and triggers. It's awesome in combo decks. He's pretty sweet if you just want to play Track Tusk forever. Although that's green, but you know
There's
this.
always four color commander.
Yeah, this is a good boy in a lot of decks, I feel.
Hmm.
As we've seen with King Brago the Eternal, repeatable bling is really damn good. And while this guy can only do it once, except for some, artifact shenanigans, it's really good.
Yeah, I I love this creature. I love him flavorfully. I love him mechanically. I love that he does something that feels distinctly Esper while not being centriplet levels of control.
Yeah, it's Esper, but it's not Cancer. Well, considering it works with Undeath, it might be Cancer, but you know what I mean.
Hmm. Yeah,
So he's a pretty sweet guy, I think.
I'd love to build a commander deck around this.
Same.
I'm just
And that says a good amount.
such a massive Johnny that I'd love this so much.
Yeah. I'd like it,
Like a
considering
Horrendous
I'm
with
in
a
love with Sequar Deathkeeper.
okay, just imagine this for a moment. 1,000-year
Alright.
elixir plus Felidar
Yeah.
Guardian plus
Yeah.
Zula Cutthroat plus this guy.
Yeah.
Infinite
Yeah.
combo.
Oh yeah. Oh
It's four,
yeah.
but you're in black.
That's some good shit. Good shit. Damn, boy. Damn, boy.
All right, time to go build some commander decks around this.
Yeah, I think I think we should do that at one point. Just get some custom commanders and do some decks around them.
Oh yes.
Because I've
Hey,
heard
maybe
it being, yeah. Well, actually, I think next week we should probably get. Actually, no, October is next month. Never mind. But yeah, maybe we should do that next week because I've heard it's becoming kind of a common thing now to make or use custom commanders to make custom commander decks.
yeah. So maybe we could even record the episode for Dr. Hadakin on Wednesday or something.
Yeah. Or we could even do kind of a challenge thing and do like I give you a custom commander I make, you make a deck around that, and you give me a custom commander you make, and I make a deck around that.
All right, sounds good. So how about in the comments or in the comments, you guys vote for whichever one you want. If you want us to just make a deck tech on Dr. Hadakin, or if you want to for each other where we make custom commanders, just let us know.
Yep.
Whoever gets
I
the
do
most
hope
votes gets what they want.
Yep, I do hope we get a comment at least.
We can
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
But
I
anyways,
don't care if you subscribe. I don't care if you like or dislike. I just care that you comment. Those are the ones that make me happy.
yep.
And in case you noticed, my YouTube channel has very little to no comments.
Yeah. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if we had to cut it a bit short, but just technical difficulties. And
Yeah,
we'll
next
see
time
you
I'm gonna
again at some point.
have a nice night.